day, everyone. Good day, everyone.
Mhm. Yeah, good day.
Yeah,
Yeah, good day. Good day. Good day.
thank you. So today we are going into. We've started a series on agile project management and methodology, and yesterday we.
Are you sharing your screen? We don't see.
Okay, let me share my
We are
screen.
seeing it. Yeah. No, we could see your screen, but it was the Google Meet, not the PPT.
Oh, okay, sir. So I'm sharing that now. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it is okay.
Okay, so I said we started a series on agile project methodology, and we have understood what agile is. And yesterday we learned about Scrum and the ceremonies we have in Scrum, the advantage of Scrum, and the artifacts in Scrum. So today we are going deeper into that. This is still part of Scrum. So for Scrum, we have what we call the sprint, and we have sprint planning, we have backlog refinement, and we do the daily Scrum. So for the daily Scrum, we are already acquainted with that. So let's get to understand what sprint planning is, how is it done, what is the benefit to our project. Okay, so I'm welcoming you to exciting world of sprint planning and daily Scrum. So today we will dive into the art of Scrum, exploring how these practices ensure efficient planning, continuous refinement, and clear communication. So by mastering these elements, you will unlock the full potential of your agile workflow, delivering value faster and with greater transparency. So let's get into it. What is a sprint? Okay, a sprint is a short time box period when a scrum team works to complete a set amount of work. A sprint could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks, it could be 4 weeks, but it shouldn't be more than 1 month. All right, so we have this time frame to work on releasing a potential in to work towards having a potential releasable increment. That is a working functionality of our product. So, and we say that the sprint planning is a collaborative meeting where the scrum team plans the work to be performed during the sprint. I believe we understand the sprint now. So let's just say we have 2 week sprint. So we are going to plan in a collaborative way how to perform the work in the next 2 weeks. So we are going to be breaking down our tasks into smaller chunks that we can cover in 2 weeks. And at the end of 2 weeks, we should have an increment. All right. So the objective of the sprint planning is to have a define is for us to define our sprint goal. I'm going to be showing us some things in Jira so we can understand better, right? So our objective for sprint planning is to define the sprint goal. Select user stories from the backlog and create a sprint backlog. Um, these terms should not be strange to us. Let me quickly show you something. So let's say we are all familiar with Jira, right? And previously we created user stories and epics in Jira. So those user stories, they are your product backlog. So there is something called prioritization, there's something called estimation, and all of that. We'll go into details at the practical session, right? So all of these user stories, and we also have epics. Let me see if I can show the epic panel. So we have epics that um, contain multiple user stories. So these are your product backlog items. Your user stories make up your product backlog items. So each of these also have what we call the acceptance criteria. We'll go into details later. Okay, I just wanted to show you what we mean by user story and the backlog. So if you check this side, you see the backlog here. So everything here is the product backlog. So let me get back to my presentation. So we say that the objective of sprint planning is to define sprint goal, select user stories from the backlog, and create a sprint backlog. I hope that is more relatable now. I hope you can relate to what I just explained now.
Yes, Christian. Yes.
All right, thank you. So, who are the
Yeah,
participants?
guys, please communicate. I mean, if you have any question or if you are good with it, please communicate so that will be interesting for Christian also. Okay?
Yeah, done, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, who are the participants in sprint planning? We have the Scrum Master who facilitates. We have the product owner who provides insights. So, actually, like we learned yesterday, the product owner is in charge of that product backlog, right? So, he already creates the user stories and then he manages that product backlog. So, in the sprint planning, the product owner is available, the scrum master is available, and the development team is also available to estimate the effort for each of the user stories and commit to ensuring the work is done. Okay, so the duration for sprint planning is typically 8 hours for a 4 week sprint. So it could be shorter than 8 hours. If your sprint is 2 weeks, you could have 4 hours of sprint planning. If you have 3 weeks, you could have 6 hours of sprint planning. If it is a 4 week sprint, you could have 8 hours of sprint planning. So it could be shorter than 8 hours, but not more than 8 hours. Is that fine? So the agenda for sprint planning is to review previous sprints, if there's any, then to set sprint goal, to also select user stories and break down tasks and estimate effort. To review previous sprints, set sprint goal, select user stories and break down tasks, then estimate effort. All of this can be done on Jira. So I don't want this to be like an abstract idea. So I'm showing you what it is in Jira. Okay, so your product backlog, everything, Jira. That is the essence of um, asking you to create your Jira account, because you are going to be working with Jira a lot. All right, so we have the backlog refinement. Backlog refinement, remember our product backlog in Jira, right? So backlog refinement involves continuously updating and prioritizing the product backlog. So the objective of the backlog refinement is to prioritize backlog items, break down user stories, estimate effort, and ensure readiness for sprint planning. So there's a way to do the effort estimate and the breaking down of user stories. You will get to see that in the practical session. So this is the objective of the backlog refinement. So what is the frequency of backlog refinement? It is an ongoing activity throughout the sprint. We keep refining our backlog to suit the vision of the product and the goal of the product, to ensure we are delivering value to the customer, to the end user. Okay, so the importance of backlog refinement is to have a well refined backlog, leading to smoother sprint planning and execution. So what is the technique for backlog refinement? We have the user story mapping, the story splitting, and backlog grooming sessions. Okay, let's move on. And we have the daily scrum. All of these are still artifacts of scrum. We have spoken about the sprint planning, we have spoken about the backlog refinement, and now daily scrum. So I believe you are already used to daily scrum. So daily scrum, or daily stand up as you want to call it, is a brief, it's a very short um, meeting to synchronize the team's activities and address any impediment. So it is time boxed to 15 minutes. The objective of daily scrum is to share progress, identify impediments, and adjust the plan if needed. Okay, so the format is to stand up for 15 minutes, but we are working remotely, so we come together on our Google Meet and we ask ourselves questions. So the questions that we answer: what did you do yesterday? What will you do today? And do you have any impediments? These questions don't have to be exactly this way every day. we can change the question to suit the purpose of the work we are doing, right? It could come in different formats, but the goal is to check on your progress, to check if you are facing any challenge, and the Scrum Master picks up your challenge and fix it for you, right? Remove the impediments, and then to check the general well-being of our project. Are we actually working towards our sprint goal or not? All right. So the importance of daily Scrum is to promote transparency, collaboration, and quick problem solving. I hope we are still following.
So basically, you are the Scrum Master for past 3 days.
What did you say?
For this meeting, basically, you are the Scrum Master in the daily meeting.
Yes.
What we are doing from past 3 to 4 days stand-up meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Let's proceed. So the tools and techniques for transparency. First of all, I'd like to say that transparency is very, very key to Scrum. Whatever you do, you must be transparent. The purpose of the daily Scrum or the daily stand-up is transparency, so that everybody can know what we are working on, where we are currently, and if we have any challenge, and the challenge is resolved. Okay, so transparency is key to Scrum. The product backlog items also enhances transparency. The sprint planning enhances transparency. The sprint retrospective enhances transparency. Everything you do in Scrum is geared towards transparency. Okay, so agile project management tools like Jira facilitates managing backlogs and tracking progress. So one tool we use for our transparency is Jira. There are several other project management tools like Trello, Asana, a lot of them, ClickUp and the rest. But in this team, we make use of Jira. Okay, so we have task board, we have burn down charts and information radiators that are used for enhancing visibility and transparency within the team. You get to know the burn down chart later. Okay, so regular retrospectives provide opportunity for reflecting on team processes and improving transparency. So in our subsequent training sessions, we would look into sprint review and sprint retrospective, but for today our focus is on the sprint planning, backlog refinement, and daily stand up. So all of these help us have transparency in Scrum. All right, so what are the best practices for sprint planning and backlog refinement? Number one, collaborative approach involving the entire Scrum team ensures shared understanding and commitment. So breaking down user stories into smaller tasks facilitates better estimation and planning. Then regularly reviewing and updating the backlog based on feedback and changing requirements ensures its relevance, right? So using techniques like story points or planning poker for estimating effort helps in making informed decisions. Prioritizing backlog items based on value and dependencies ensures focus on delivering the most valuable features. So what are the best practices for daily Scrum meetings? We hold the meeting at the same time and place every day to establish a routine. Like for the past few days, we've been having our meeting at 12 p.m. IST, and it is time boxed to 15 minutes, and it has become a part of us, so it becomes our daily routine. All right, so we encourage active participation from all team members to ensure everyone is engaged. So we focus on solving impediments rather than just reporting them. Promoting a problem solving mindset. Okay, so avoid detailed discussions during the meeting, which can be addressed outside to keep it time boxed. So it is okay to raise an impediment during the daily stand up. Then after the daily stand up, we can pick up the impediment and find solution to it, but not during that stand up, so we can keep to time. Okay, so we follow up on commitments made during the meeting to ensure accountability and progress. So basically, this is what we do at the daily stand up. So in conclusion, sprint planning, backlog refinement, daily scrum, and transparency are essential practices in agile development. So implementing these practices promotes collaboration, efficiency, and continuous improvement within agile teams. So we encourage teams to adopt these practices to enhance productivity, delivery, and customer satisfaction. All right. So let me go back to that this backlog. So ahead of our next section where we are going to be working on the backlog refinement, I want to admonish us to go online, use Google, use YouTube, whatever channel you can lay your hands on, read about the product backlog refinement, so that by the time we are working on it, you are not feeling lost. You can flow, you can understand what is going on. I'm sure you already know how to create the user stories, and every other thing here you will get to learn in the practical session. Okay, so I'll be going into the question and answer session. Thank you for listening. So do you have any questions? Let's have your questions.
Is this methodology is only important in agile model, or for other model also it is flexible?
Okay, Scrum is an agile framework. It does not apply to waterfall. It does not apply to any other agile methodology. It is for any other project management methodology. It is only for agile. So
In
waterfall
derived model also. Sorry. Yes, continue.
so waterfall has its own um, artifacts and whatever they work with, but we are working on agile. So agile, we mentioned, we have scrum, we have kanban, we have lean, we have safe, and a lot of frameworks under the agile methodology, but we are focusing on scrum and then maybe kanban. Okay, so for scrum, the sprint planning, the product backlog, refinements, and all of these are under scrum. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, but in derived model also Scrum Master will be there. Then every team will be there. In there also we will conduct the sprint meeting, and as well as there also we will give the backlogs and all.
Yes,
But why we are not following this methodology? Are we following that one, or we not following that one?
we are following it. And Sir already mentioned that for the next few days, we are going to be having hands-on product backlog refinement sessions. So we are following it verbatim.
No, not that was not my question. Sir, are you there?
Yeah. So let me try to answer. So, what is the methodology you are telling?
Derived and as well as V and V. There is also same thing going to happen like prints and all.
Yeah. So there would be few methodologies which would be similar, right? And might be in some cases 30% similar, some cases 60%, sometimes 80%. Okay, but they are not exactly same. Okay. So when you talk about agile, within agile itself, let's say I will compare between two, Scrum and Kanban. Okay. So they will share similar concepts for around 50 to 60%. Okay. All other ceremonies are done for Scrum and Kanban both, but the way we manage the work, the way we have the meeting, the way we give the estimates is bit different. Okay, so based on the methodology specifically, it will have some flavor of differences. So when we are using any particular framework, it really depends on your use case or type of project and type of team members you have. Based on that, we choose any one of them. Does it answer?
Yes, sir. Done.
Yeah.
All right, any other question?
From my side, no
No,
question.
thank you.
No,
Yeah.
no question.
So, guys, one thing I wanted to know, see, this is a golden opportunity for all of you to learn this methodology, and we are going to implement them in reality. So, in the starting of the meeting, even I told to start with other ceremonies. But before that, we wanted to give you a background about all these terminologies and the process, so that it will be easy for you to adopt the process. Okay. And if you see, we started Jira. Okay. So now initial setup and all, I helped you to do it. Now when you will be doing them in detail via Christiana, and that time it will be easy for you. Okay, so that is one thing. So Christiana, now whatever you can set up meeting for backlog refinement and backlog grooming separately, and let's plan those things this week, so that from next Monday we can start one sprint. And the Jira board which you have, right? So that will be a master Jira board, and the master Jira board you can change the life cycle of every stories and epics or task. According, you don't need to create a task. Basically, you can manage only through the stories and the epics, but the status can be changed and managed via your Jira board.
Okay.
While we have those stories, whatever will be assigned to the team, only those stories they will individually manage in their Jira board.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So it will be little difficult, but we have to do it, because or else there is licensing charges. So in the free internship, we are not able to provide the licensing charges for the people. So this is how probably we can manage it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Any other thing you want to bring up? Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Can we get that what the Christiana shared on the screen? Can we get that PPT in the WhatsApp group, so we can read with the help of that one?
Yeah, this recording is posted in YouTube.
No, not
We
about
can-
the recording, sir. That PPT.
Yeah, PPT also she can share.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Christian,
Yes,
you can take this up.
yeah, I'm done. So I'm going to share the PPT on the WhatsApp channel, and I think that's all about it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christian.
So let me do one thing. I will create one folder in Google Drive, and then you can upload, and we will give access to that folder to people.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay then. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Christiana.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.